Hola, this is Tamara Marie, host of the Learn Spanish con Salsa podcast. Now, if you are so lost, anytime you hear someone talking about La Copa Mundial or the World Cup, then we have something for you in the Spanish con Salsa community. We'll be hosting a live workshop on Cómo hablar de la Copa Mundial, how to talk all about the World Cup in Spanish, especially if you're not a soccer fan, if you've never watched it before, and you have no idea what's going on, but you want to be part of the excitement. Join us for a free class. I want you to go to SpanishConsalsa.com/Copa. That's SpanishConsalsa.com/COPA for information on how you can sign up for our free class on La Copa Mundial. This year it is running from 11 de junio hasta 19 de julio. So you've got over a month where people will be talking all about soccer, and almost every Spanish-speaking country is involved in this conversation. So join us at SpanishConsalsa.com/Copa for your free live class on Cómo hablar de la Copa Mundial en español. Now let's get started with this week's episode.
Bienvenidos.
Welcome to the Learn Spanish con Salsa podcast.
Here's your host,
Certified Language Coach,
Tamara Marie.
Hola, bienvenidos al episodio 245. Welcome to episode 245 of the Learn Spanish con Salsa podcast. Now, as you know, we have been doing a series on La Copa Mundial, or the World Cup. So we've been talking all about the World Cup and the music around it as well. In this week's episode, we're going to actually pull out 7 useful phrases that you can use in your Spanish conversations that are from the song that we reviewed last episode, Somos Más, or We Are More. Now, Somos Más is la canción oficial del Telemundo. So it's the Telemundo Network's World Cup official song. And we went through the lyrics of that in the last episode. So again, if you want to go back to episode 244, check that out if you want a breakdown of the lyrics. In this episode, we're going to go into some of the vocabulary that you can actually use in your conversations. And again, these aren't all necessarily related to soccer. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to watch the World Cup, I don't get it. Don't worry. You can still use some of the vocab from this episode. All right. So I think you'll find that a lot of the phrases are pretty versatile. And even if, again, you're not a big soccer fan, check out the song because it is still kind of a catchy song. And you'll get to hear regional accents, right, from different countries. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with the vocabulary from the song Somos Más. So the first word that we have in the song is prender. Prender. And this is a verb, prender, which means to turn on, like literally to turn on. So we talked about this in the lyrics. There's a line, la prendí la tele. La prendí la tele. So I turned on the TV, right? So the TV is turned on. So prendí is the past tense for yo of the verb prender, right? But it can mean more than just literally turning on the lights or turning on an electronic device like a TV. It is used for some other expressions as well, but you will find it most commonly used, to turn something on. But we also could say prender when we're talking about lighting something, right? Like a fire or a candle. So I could say prendí una vela. Perdón, prendí una vela. Vela is a flight. Vela is a candle. All right, prendí una vela. And una vela is like I lit a candle or I lit a fire. I could also use prender if I want to say something got turned on, but in terms of excitement, right? Not like the connotation where you might hear it in English, but this literally just means like to light a fire, and to get people excited, right? So if I want to use this figuratively, I could say, la fiesta se prendió. La fiesta se prendió. So in this case, here I'm saying that the party came alive, right? The party was lit. So again, la fiesta se prendió. Again, I'm saying that things got excited. I'm not literally turning on the party. So that's another way you can use prender. And in some countries, it's used to say to get caught or to get arrested. So you could say, lo prendieron por robar. Lo prendieron por robar, which literally means, they caught him or they arrested him for stealing. Now, there is another phrase to use if the lights go out. You wouldn't use the word prender, but it's the verb apagar. So you might hear, if people are talking about the electricity going out, you might hear, se apagó la tele. Préndela de nuevo. Se apagó la tele. Préndela de nuevo. So the TV turned off, usually because the power went out. Turn it back on. Préndela. Préndela de nuevo. Turn it on again. Turn it back on. So that's prender. So you can hear, again, very versatile verb. And the other phrase that you can use from the song is ponerse la camiseta. Ponerse la camiseta. Now, I know we talked about that in the lyrics last week, that it literally means to put on the jersey. That's how it's used in the song. But ponerse la camiseta, which is literally to put on the shirt or the jersey, it also is an expression that means to commit fully or to give it your all. So you're not just saying I'm literally putting on a shirt, right? But you're saying that you're going to give your full efforts. So at work, I could say, necesito que todos se pongan la camiseta. Necesito que todos se pongan la camiseta. So I need everyone to step up. I need everyone to give their best effort here. Also, if I'm trying to encourage a friend, I could say, es hora de ponerte la camiseta por tu familia. Es hora de ponerte la camiseta por tu familia. So it's time to step up for your family, right? So it's time to really take responsibility. So again, this is being fully committed. So you can use ponerse la camiseta in that way as well. We also have the verb acabarse. Acabarse. Okay, and in the song it says, se acabó la espera, which is the wait is over. But acabarse is a very versatile verb, and you might notice that this is also, like many of these examples we've had so far, it's reflexive verb, right? So that means that it's talking about an action done to the same thing doing the action, so to oneself or to itself. So that's what that se indicates. So acabarse can also be used to say to run out, to finish, or to be over. And this is constantly used in conversations. So for example, you might hear, se acabó el postre. Se acabó el postre. So that means they ran out of dessert. You also might hear, se acabó la discusión. Se acabó la discusión. Like, this discussion is over. Right? So these are some ways that you can use acabarse in Spanish. And again, it's very, very common. You might also hear, like at the end of the day, se acabó el día. Se acabó el día. So the day is over. Or if you say, look, I don't want to talk anymore, se acabó. No quiero hablar más. Se acabó. No quiero hablar más. It's over. I don't want to talk anymore. All right. So again, it's really using it to say that things have run out or it is over. All right. Now, before I continue on with the other words I want to point out in the song, I do want to give you the answer to the trivia question from last week's episode. So we talked about Carlos Vives. So this is the artist from Colombia from the song Somos Más. And he actually had a career in entertainment before music that made him a global star. The options were a telenovela actor, a professional soccer player, or a radio host. So did you get that right? Which one did you think it was? Telenovela actor, professional soccer player, or a radio host? The answer is actually telenovela actor. Okay. Carlos Vives was an actor before becoming the king of vallenato, the genre of Colombian music he's known for, and becoming a global music superstar. He was on the hit Colombian telenovela Escalona and this was a while ago. He played a legendary vallenato composer, Rafael Escalona. So it's actually that role that really inspired him to dedicate his life full-time to music. So in a way, acting actually led him to become a music legend. So there you go. Quick little tip about trivia about Carlos Vives. All right, let's get back to the vocabulary from the song. So we also have cada vez más, cada vez más. And in the song, it says cada vez somos más, which is literally like each time we are more or we're growing in numbers. But you can really use this with almost any adjective or verb to show that it's increasing. So for example, el español se me hace cada vez más fácil. El español se me hace cada vez más fácil. So Spanish is getting easier and easier for me. Okay, so again, it's becoming more and more easy. Each time it's easier. You can also say, estoy cada vez más emocionada por el mundial. Estoy cada vez más emocionada por el mundial. So I'm more and more excited about the World Cup. I'm excited for the World Cup. Then we have the word cualquiera. Cualquiera. And this just means like any or anyone. So in the song it says, hoy no es un día cualquiera. Today is not just any day, right? So cualquiera in this case, it just means, again, any, right? Not just an ordinary day or not just any day. You could also say, no es una persona cualquiera. No es una persona cualquiera. And in this case, I'm saying she's not just any person. So this implies that she's someone special, right? Una persona cualquiera. She's not just any person. And then in context of talking about the World Cup, you could say puede ganar cualquiera. Puede ganar cualquiera. So this is literally anyone could win, right? And in this case, again, we're just saying any or anyone. If you wanted to say, you wanted to tell someone like, just choose whichever one you want. Choose anyone. You could say escoge cualquiera. Escoge cualquiera. So choose anyone you want. So that's cualquiera, again, pretty versatile. Then we have another reflexive verb, unirse. Unirse. And this means to unite or to come together. And this is the reflexive form of the verb unir. In the song, it says, nos unimos para que el país se prendiera. So we come together so the country would light up or get excited. You could use this. Some examples are, los vecinos se unieron para limpiar el parque. Los vecinos se unieron para limpiar el parque. So the neighbors came together to clean up the park. Also, I can use it as a command. You might see this written in places when someone's saying, join, come join us, right? You might say, únete, únete. So that's, again, the command tense for unirse. And I'm saying, join us, come on and join us. Come be a part of our group, all right? So again, that is another reflexive verb. It is very useful as well, because a lot of times when you're talking about coming together or joining together, you will want to use this unirse. For example, you could also say, las familias se unen durante las fiestas. Las familias se unen durante las fiestas. So families come together during the holidays. Or at work, you can say, tenemos que unirnos como equipo. Tenemos que unirnos como equipo. So we have to come together as a team, right? And our next useful phrase that we have from the song is abrazar, or we also, for this verb, have the reflexive form abrazarse. Right, so abrazar is literally to hug. So you can think of un abrazo is a hug. Abrazar is to hug or to embrace. So abrazarse is when two people are embracing each other. Okay, so for example, in the song it says, es el mundo que abraza la libertad. So in this case, we're just using abrazar. So it's the world that embraces liberty, right? Or freedom. But it also says, todos nos abrazamos después del gol. So we all hugged each other after the goal. I could also say, abraza el cambio, embrace the change. So again, this is a more figurative use of abrazar. So it is a really useful verb you can use. It doesn't always have to mean literally to hug someone. It can talk about, again, embracing something, right? Like embracing the change. But it does usually mean that, mean to hug or to embrace each other, right? If you're meeting someone, you could say, ella me abrazó muy fuerte. So she hugged me very tight, right? And you might find in Latin American culture, hugging is very common, right? So you might hear that or come across that a lot. All right, so those are the verbs that we have from the song. To recap, we have prender, which is to turn on or to come alive. Okay, ponerse la camiseta, which is to commit fully or to step up. Acabarse, to run out or to be over. Cada vez más, more and more. Cualquiera, anyone or anything. And then unirse, to come together. And abrazarse, to embrace or to hug each other. All right, so those are the words and phrases that you can use from the song Somos Más. And as I mentioned that we do have a lot of reflexive verbs. So just to give you some quick tips on this, because we had ponerse, acabarse, unirse, abrazarse. Reflexive verbs in Spanish, like I mentioned earlier, they reflect back to the subject of the action. So it's a very simple pattern. So for example, with the verb unirse, I would say yo me uno, like I join. Tú te unes, you join. Él o ella se une, he or she joins. Nosotros nos unimos. Nosotros nos unimos, we join together. Ustedes se unen, you all join. Or ellos, ellas se unen, they join together. All right, so in any reflexive verb, you're always going to have this pattern, me, te, se, nos, and se. All right, and it always matches the subject. So it's really easy. And these are also very commonly used in commands. So únete, join, ponte, put on, abrázame, hug me. Okay, so these are things that are also very common in Spanish. So I hope that you have found that useful. And remember that, the World Cup goes on, but even if you're not watching the World Cup, you can take part and enjoy. You can learn some vocabulary. Take this as an opportunity to be able to connect with Spanish-speaking people all over Latin America. So these are some things that you can learn and pick up and use in your next Spanish conversation. So as always, I hope that something you heard in this episode has helped you go one step closer from Spanish beginner to bilingual. Hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening to the Learn Spanish con Salsa podcast at learnspanishconsalsa.com.